mode that have to do with governance. Stay tuned. B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, declares that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary and purpose of government. In this declaration, the security and welfare of people are conjunctively presented as a sole purpose. Taking cue from the 1999 Constitution, and also what has been happening in Niger State, particularly the issues of illegal mining and also the security situation, the whole which has led in the metropolis. On some to be mining site, which the legal mining site, which admitted by the government, and the government officials have not taken any serious effort to see that the legal mining site, which the government officials term, has not been closed or has not been taken care of, and also security for the lives and property of the people living in that area. Then on this premise, we are discussing the issue and also to know what exactly transpired. How can we curtail this kind of menace vis-a-vis the primary responsibility of government? So that is what we want to discuss. But before then, let me start with Dr. Mohammed Nantala Aliyu. But I can say, let's even have a background. Let's have a background of what is actually happening. What happened on that very fateful day in which people were killed at Maitumbi mining site, and also the government reaction, the shabbily reaction of an official of government, instead of them to take responsibility of what is happening, and they are in a kind of blaming game.
Yes, it is no longer news that mining activities in Niger State anywhere is illegal. The government have come out clearly to state that all mining activities have been suspended, and henceforth any individual engaged in mining activities is doing so with illegality. And you can see that since that government pronouncement, mining activities have not stopped in Niger State. We still have some areas where mining activities are still on, and yet we also have a Ministry of Solid Minerals that is saddled with the responsibility of checkmating some of these excesses. And of course, Metumbi mining site is one of them. And in those areas, we've seen quite a number of miners doing their activities which were illegal, which have already been declared illegal. And it is because of this, not even what happened recently, but even in some distant past, we've had issues with miners and even settlers there, where some kind of a fracas have always broken out between the resident there and the miners. And it is in one of those fracas that one of the security operatives belonging to the Hunters Association lost his life, and also a 13-year-old boy. Together they lost their lives as a result of that. We expect that the government, through the Ministry of Solid Mineral, to come out with a strong statement condemning such an activity, and also promising to take further actions against perpetrators of mining and violence in those places. But unfortunately, the ministry officials have chosen to take on a blame game, and even going to the extent of saying that the story is false, the story is malicious and all of that. But I believe that at every point in time, government officials should hold the public, or the public, an explanation anytime anything happened, because the members of the public are always expecting official statement to be coming out from government officials. And that is why when you look at even a section of the Constitution, I think chapter 2, section 22 of the Constitution, have stated clearly that the media is saddled with the responsibility of holding government officials to be accountable for whatever thing that happens in the society, be it government activities, be it any other activity relating to government ministries, MDAs, and all of that. And of course, if government officials will simply come out and start apportioning blames, then we'll not get down to the root of the matter. What I had anticipated the government, the Ministry of Solid Mineral to do is to call for a press conference regarding this matter, so that records can be set straight, and of course, whoever the perpetrators are should be pinned down and be brought to book. But this blame game of trying to discredit the story will not augur well for the generality of the public, and I'm sure the Ministry of Solid Mineral should begin to have a rethink on some of these things. It is not every time that a government official must rise to defense. When you keep defending, you will continue to defend, and of course, sometimes you have to tell lies if you are defending. And that is why at every point in time, there is a need for government officials to get down to the root of the matter. The permanent secretary, Minister of Mineral Resources, should have dug deeper to unravel the real situation that happened at the scene of that incident, because I'm sure he was not there. He must have been briefed, and unfortunately, he concluded based on what he received. And unfortunately, his conclusion was a wrong one. And we here at Prestige FM, we still stand resolutely by our story. Our story is correct. Our story is the truth, and we'll continue to tell the truth to power.
Well, let me go live with the correspondent who has been in that particular place where the sad event happened, and tell us the graphic picture of what transpired there. And the permanent secretary was saying that it is opposite the mining site, illegal mining site, and he admitted that it is an illegal mining site.
Exactly.
Is it because you know that it's an illegal mining site, you didn't even take any effort, you know, to close down that place, or was it something, you know, some people are benefiting from that illegal mining site in which the ministry is aware of, and also admittedly saying that this is an illegal mining site? Let me join Mohammed Nuruddin Daza, who was at that place and who also reported the issue. What really transpired? Daza, good morning. Are you with us? Daza, are you with us? Yeah, are you with us? Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Are you with me?
Yeah, we are with you. Go ahead.
What officially the planted? Because I had been in the picture of the happening quite even before the incident. Why I say so, I have reported several cases from that side, to the extent that I ever even interviewed the commissioner, which he told me they get them 3 days to check from that side If they did not vacate, they will take a decisive action against what they are doing. But to my surprise, after taking that statement that they are giving them 3 days to vacate, 4 days, 5 days, those miners still continue with their illegal activities. I told the commissioner of them, inform him that that statement does not work because the mining activity is still going on at that site. He told me that it is because there was a fasting and he don't want to take an action against people that are fasting to send them to you don't want to do anything to harm them because they are fasting. Then I told him that the community are still complaining because those miners, their activity is totally in contrary with the fasting activity. He told me they will do their best. On that fateful day that this incident occurred, before even the incident escalate to that extent, I called the commissioner myself. I told him that there was a report from that side that I usually inform you. There are clashes now between Metumbi and boys from Sayako and other actors. He told me that he will call the controller of civil defense to mobilize his force to that place. To my surprise, up to now, no single person has been sent from that ministry to contest that issue that was even resulted to the loss of life. After that,
Daza, this is the graphic picture of what happened on that fateful day. What happened on that day? Was it inside the illegal mining site, or it is the opposite as alleged by the permanent secretary?
Let me to back it all right. I'm with the commandant AEDC. He's one of the residents close to that area. One of the persons that his voice always even do their best, giving their contribution to curtail that mining activities. But because they are not government, they are just volunteers. They don't have that much power and resources. They cannot stop that. He's with us. Commandant, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, please, can you add more light on this issue? The State Ministry of Mineral Resources and Solid said that it didn't happen not at that mining site. What is the true picture about that? Thank you very much, Daga. It's not longer in news that the activities of miners in that illegal mining site are some to a very worrisome activities. And what is really happening there, the miners have illegal and the surrounding as a global society. So what really happened that day, the crisis or the chaos started the day before. That was on Thursday. I personally went there and I looked at the situation being taken out of hand before I left, and I informed the relevant conventional outreach that this is what is going on. And the following day, the crisis continued, and the people that I saw there, like one village and Babambari and what have you, Mr. Kauda, they are all there, and they are the people that have perpetrated this evil act.
What we are saying here, Commander, are you with us? What we are saying here is it inside the mining site that this sad event happened in which you lost one of your men, or is it outside, or is it opposite, or is it adjacent? Hello? Hello? I think Daza, I think we lost touch with Daza and even the commander of that very person. But let me quickly come back to the studio. Maimuna Babangida, the overzealousness of public servants, or I can say the civil servant in this matter, when they are trying to cover off their inefficiency, they go into blame game. And the kind of wordings and even the adjectives used by the permanent secretary, calling is false, calling it all sorts of names, you understand, and pitching Prestige FM against the public in trying to cover up their inadequacies. How do we get out of this? Considering the fact that even the governor of Niger State has given a marching order that the problem of illegal mining site and also the hoodlums, the youth restiveness, that he has ordered the security personnel to deal decisively with those people. And now the permanent secretary is going contrary to what the governor has said. And listen to what the governor has said before you make your comment.
I have declared a state of emergency on any talk found within the metropolis and even within the state. We have zero tolerance for rascality and thuggery. Those artisanal miners that are causing this havoc within the town, we have closed their site. We are using maximum force to curtail their activities, and we are not going to restrain on our words. We have said anyhow.
Memuna, you heard the governor. He has declared
a state of emergency.
A state of emergency to illegal mining activities and thuggery within Metropolis and Niger State as a whole. And now the commissioner and the permanent secretary are not acting on the instruction of the governor, and also they are trying to also malign the government and also the governance of the state.
It's quite unfortunate. You see, in the art of information management, we always encourage to be proactive. Just like the vivid picture of what Daza gave, he informed the relevant authorities before the incident escalated to the unfortunate.
Before he even filed his story.
Yes, he informed them, because we know as journalists, whatever we are doing, we try to balance our stories, so we don't air one-sided story, especially in Prestige FM. We try to reach out to relevant authorities, except if they refuse, due to their own inadequacies and what have you, not to give us a kind of insight into the story we are working on, which we are victims of it for quite a while in the States. And what happened between on the issue of Maitumbi, it's not the first time that this thing is happening. I knew that there was an incident that happened at Fadukwe Odiaraba, also an illegal mining site, and several other places. Remember that there was a research that was done by the International Labour Organization looking at this illegal mining, and Niger State was picked among, and the result came out. The kind of unfortunate incidents happening in this illegal
I think
mine.
Daza is back with the commandant.
All right.
Yes, Daza, we are with you now.
Yes, it is a network issue. Yes, I want to connect with the commandant for clear for you. Let me reconnect with you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Memuna, continue before he reconnects.
Okay, as you see,
go ahead.
what is happening, just like what the governor just gave a marching order, declaring state of emergency, is intended with what the people want the governor to do. And unfortunately,
And in line with the Constitution.
in line with the Constitution of the
Section
Federal
14.
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. And it seems like the commissioner or those in charge were not adequately briefed. You know, there is that eagerness for them to respond to an issue blindly. I will use the word blindly, without digging further to know what really transpired before they do that. Bringing a press release on a sensitive issue like this is not worth it. They should, just like what Doctor said, they should have done a press conference. Bring journalists, let them ask them what and what and what in gray areas. Let them expatiate on it. But bringing press release and us journalists taking this press release to use is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, Daza, we are with you now.
Yes, Commander, we are with you.
Yeah, Commander, I was asking a very valid question. Did the incident happen inside the mining site at Metumbi, or the opposite, or at the adjacent of that mining site? Is it inside or where?
The incident happened right inside the mining site. Inside.
Okay. Okay.
That is where the chaos erupted.
Okay.
Yes.
So what the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Mineral Resources said, it is opposite the illegal mining site.
Yes, it's illegal, and but his statement is quite disappointing because we are an witness there. We saw what happened, and the victim himself. In fact, presently I'm in the house of the deceased now. So what really happened there is that when they started that chaos on Thursday, there was a little negotiation and they stopped, but they continued the following day. Then the deceased went there to reconcile them. And that is when they decided to attack him. And those people that are spearheading the activities of mining there, this one small boy today, Babambai, Musa Kaura, they are the ones spearheading the activities there. And they are behind all these incidents that happens.
Okay, now, what is the way forward? How can you now, as volunteer organization, how can you help to see that you work hand in hand with other security agencies to maintain law and order, or also to bring sanity, not law and order, because it's the responsibility of the police. So it's the responsibility of the police. So how do you do that?
Okay, thank you very much. As a voluntary organization, we have limitation. All what we're supposed to do is to complement the effort of the conventional outfit. And we avail ourselves all the time. Whenever we are being called to render our services, we do response.
Thank you.
That mining site, we are expecting government to declare that illegal mining site closed, and nobody should be seen there. But it is their practice that whenever security agencies went there for raiding or for any operation, they will resist, and at the end of the day, they will start attacking the securities. And also, the securities cannot just shoot sporadically there. They have to tactically withdraw because they are attacking seriously. You see them brandishing weapons and the stones. They are, in fact, even when the civil defense district have left, they have to withdraw forcefully.
For their safety. Dr. Dantala, the point has been made, and Dr. Dantala, we have said, and we stand by our story just like what you said, and you can see that in a way of painting Prestige and even the journalists that even brought the story and branding him as a liar, false, and all sorts of adjectives. Now it has been established that it is right inside that
the mining site.
And this Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Mineral Resources of Niger State has lied against the state, has violated the provisions or the declaration by the governor, who is the chief executive officer. Now, what do you think should be done to this Permanent Secretary and any official of government that refused to carry out the instruction of the chief executive officer and chief security officer of Niger State?
Well, first and foremost, I think this position taken by the Permanent Secretary is an unfortunate one. And then secondly, it appears that he also wants to go on his own, not to comply with the directive of Mr. Governor by not taking the necessary action after being told time and again, and after being alerted on the dangers that lurk by the corner. And despite all of this, I think there is a need for the Permanent Secretary, first and foremost, to come out and make a public apology, given it the same prominence that he has given when he granted that interview, to rebuke the story given out by Prestige FM, and for him also to come out and clearly give credits to Prestige FM, because Prestige FM didn't make that reputation and name in just one night. It is the result
and we said truth is our
watchword. It is the result of many years of hard work, and it also takes the contribution of professionals within the Prestige organization and Prestige family to come up with this reputation. And at every point in time, the permanent secretary should note that there's a way of addressing the public when it comes to issues like this. You don't just go out there and address the public from the figment of your imagination. Because in feeding the public, imagination is always out of the way. And this also bring to mind the fact that when you throw truth and falsehood into the ring, the truth always triumphs. And the truth have triumphed this morning. And what we expect in the next few hours from the permanent secretary is a public apology for Prestige FM and for even the public, for misleading the public in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the Ministry of Mineral Resources to take the necessary action in line with the declaration of Mr. Governor of declaring an emergency on illegal mining in the Niger State. And of course, it is only on the basis of that that I feel the permanent secretary and indeed the Ministry of Mineral Resources will be able to bring back their reputation, and they will be able to also bring back the confidence that Mr. Governor have reposed on them to perform, to help him in taking care of that segment of governance. And for the permanent secretary, I think there's also the need for him to listen carefully to issues before going on to the press. And this is also where the importance of calling for press conference also come in. Don't just go there and just conduct interview. Call for press conference so that you will be able to listen to dissent opinions and also stories that are related to that issue, so that on the long run, the truth will prevail. And I think when he do this, it will be good for him, and it will be also good for his career and for his image as an individual. Because what you make today is what will actually be what people will say about you tomorrow.
Well, Dr. Antala, while aligning with your own position, and also failure of the ministry, or particularly the permanent secretary, to retract this kind of thing will make us, after 48 hours, to take the necessary actions of demanding of that our fundamental right, and also to ask, the competent court of law, for, a public, or to pay damage to Prestige FM and also the reporter for defamation of character.
Exactly. That is why I say in the next few hours,
yes,
we expect to hear from him.
Exactly. Memuna, going by the act is an act. Any act of the National Assembly, and also that establishes or recognizes an institution, must be followed. The practice of public relations in Nigeria is that you must obtain a license to even practice public relations. So all the public relations officers that we have, whether in the ministries or in the private sector, must be able to get license before they even practice. Now, the permanent secretary is not the public relation officer of that ministry. It has been happening to each and every ministries in Niger State. Instead of the public relations officers to even give a press release on an issue, you find out that it is some of the administrative officers, the chief administrative officers or accounting officers in that ministries that will sign, a press release and send it to the general public. In this case, the press release was signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Mines, in contravention of the act that established Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Now, is it not dangerous also for the Permanent Secretary to even be in this kind of line? If the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations now took the Permanent Secretary to court, believe you me, the Permanent Secretary will be jailed, because the laws are there, and that's what the law says about, public relations practice.
Exactly.
Memuna, is it the right time? Is it not a right time for government to take in their public relation officers for training and retraining and also obtain license into the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations?
It should be apt. But if you look at from what we are contending with currently, people, those who don't even have the foundation, talking about either reading media-related courses or journalism, they found themselves in that office functioning as public relations officer. We have made several calls for those who are appointed to really employ the professionals to handle this sensitive office. But you know the issue of data boys and what have you, which has become a kind of worrying issue for us all. You find that most of them, they have their boys who take care of their media relations issues, instead of them to have the professionals. And we must commend the Minister of Information and Strategy, whereby they deployed some of the professionals to these various ministries to take care of the PR.
But they are not licensed.
Yes, they are not licensed. This is another issue that has different dimension between the NIPR and, of course, the NUG. Is an issue that they need to iron out, because the law says you have to have foundation of the media or journalism before you can function. So this one is a regulatory agency, while this one is an institute. So you see, you must be a journalist first before you can get that particular certificate to be functional as a PR, a public relations officer. So it's a professional body, the other one. This one is a regulatory body. So they are interwoven in their issue. I hope that they will sort this out amicably.
Dr. Dantala, this issue of thuggery and illegal mining activities has led to several pronouncements by government and even security agencies. How can you put a stop to this kind of things? How can we stop this madness, particularly within the metropolis?
Well, it is one thing for government to make pronouncement, and it's another thing to follow that pronouncement to the letter. That has always been the issue. It is quite easy to design a policy, but implementation has always been a problem in Nigeria. If we had had our implementations right, we wouldn't have been where we are today. But because of the shabby handling of implementation, that has always retarded our growth and development. And the way forward now is, of course, for the government to take measures, punitive measures now, against individuals who are caught in this illegality. Mining is illegal anywhere in Niger State. The governor had come out clearly to state that he has declared a state of emergency, and mining is illegal anywhere, and anybody caught in mining activities will be punished accordingly. So it is not the governor who should go and implement it. It is now left to the concerned agencies to go and implement that, chiefly the Ministry of Solid Minerals. The security operatives themselves cannot go on their own to start arresting anybody they saw in a mining site. It is the Ministry of Solid Minerals or Ministry of Mineral Resources that is supposed to intimate security operatives to go out there and make arrests, because security operatives can only make arrests based on complaints coming either from government officials or from even residents themselves. Without complaints, without written directive, there is no way security operatives can go out there and make the necessary arrest. So everything now squared around the Ministry of Mineral Resources. The permanent secretary should note that he has more work to do than to simply join issues with our stories. And the earlier he goes down to do what he's supposed to do, the better for him, rather than joining issues with our stories. Because when he joins issues with our stories, he will only be fanning the ember of more controversies that are likely to come up. Because one, he's not professionally trained to address the public. He needs someone out there to advise him on how to even speak to the media. Because it's not everything that you just say to the microphone. And there are things that when you say, they can indict you easily. What he has just done now is defamative and is denigrating, and of course he's only trying to drag the reputation of Prestige FM in the mud. And Prestige FM, as an established media that has a reputation in Niger State and in Nigeria as a whole, cannot just stand and fold its arm to see its image being dragged in the mud simply because someone wants to meet some certain selfish ends. And I am also advising the permanent secretary to, as a matter of urgency, to take the necessary action. One, come out and make a similar address, making public apology to Prestige FM, first and foremost, about that story, and then promising to take necessary action against illegal miners. That is the only time even the residents of that area will be able to give a sigh of relief. And then the family of the slain security person who was shot and killed by the illegal miners, I think that there's a need for the government to also go and address them, because the person who was shot dead came out to perform some official functions. And the only way they can appease the family is to have that sense of belonging, for the government to express sense of belonging by sending a government official to go and condole with the family of the deceased person, so that other security operatives will be able to have that sense that, after all, the government is aware of what we are doing and is concerned, because they have shown concern to one of our colleagues who was slain by the illegal miners.
Well, that's all we can take from this end before we go to our listeners, and also to go into our Facebook page. And we can now, go to you, the listeners, to be brief and precise and give on your contribution on this topic. 09038808883. That's the number, 0903880883. Yeah, hello. Good morning.
I'm Jolly.
Who?
Jolly.
Jolly, okay.
First of all, I want to commend Mona for the work she got. The nature with our system is that we allow things to escalate into unbearable proportion before adequate measures are taken. So, with the marching order by the Dr. Dantala has said, it was a clear order given to concerned authorities to take adequate measures. If that measure were taken, I think this incident would have been avoided.
Exactly.
So, it's a lesson, and I hope that the appropriate authority will take proper measures to arrest the situation. It's very unfortunate.
Thank you, Jonah. Yes, exactly. Because if to say they have taken the directives of the governor of Niger State, I think this issue should have been avoided, honestly.
Exactly, because the governor is the #1 chief security of the state.
Exactly.
And if his directive can be taken with levity,
Hello.
Good morning, Alhaji Abdul.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, you are speaking with Comrade Ahmed, calling from 1 to 3 quarters.
Okay, 1 to 3 quarters. Comrade Ahmed, go ahead.
I think, first of all, I have to condemn on what happened at Mutubi mining site. But I think this...
Can you please reduce the volume of your radio, because it's echoing here? Thank you. Oh. Well, Comrade Ahmed...
I think he's listening from his phone. So he's using the phone.
And also, hello. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Dr. Dantala.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Comrade Awal Balakuta.
Okay, Comrade, go ahead, sir.
With regard to the unfortunate situation that happened in Metumbi, I commend the governor for not resting on his oars or leaving any stone unturned by giving the directives to close the mining site prior to the unfortunate situation that happened. And Doctor, if you take a look at the larger picture of really what is happening, the mining sector has turned to a free-for-all business in this country, not only here in Niger State. And
to a larger extent is due to the government's inability to take a robust measure towards connecting, our solid natural potentials, which has now orchestrated to all these, it has been the burn of all these insecurity challenges that we have happened.
Exactly.
I would relate to that of MENA particularly. Sincerely speaking, the public officials are being oblivious in their own responsibility.
Exactly.
Because any statement being made by Mr. Governor is an executive order that's supposed to be implemented immediately. And just as you have stated, the security agencies cannot just on their own, storm the mining site in order to stop the activities of the illegal miners that was happening then. The Ministry of Solid Minerals must officially communicate with the security agencies. That is when the security can now carry out their extant responsibility without, any fear or favor. But as it is, sincerely speaking, the lacuna is quite obvious. That really something needs to be done, particularly based on, the kind of, statement being issued by this permanent secretary. At least he needs to really come to order by, just doing the right thing in order to let things be. Otherwise, sincerely speaking, this does not go well. The onus lies on him, at least to scrutinize the information before going to the public. So now he has turned the public into a kind of, mix-up, which, as a public official, he's supposed to be an opinion molder based on what has truly transpired, but not to be on the contrary in order to smear at, one side or the other. At least all what we are doing is to see that, we have taken the right step in the interest of our own collective progress and peace.
Thank you very much.
I think you need to really come to order over that issue. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, 09038808883. Well, you see, we are not saying that we are not, we are not impalpable. We have this kind of infractions sometimes. I remember even last week when, an issue happened, an overzealousness of a news editor, something happened, and also something was wrongly mentioned about the chairman of Chanchaga local government. And I think the best thing is I use the same way that they send us whatever the displeasure to, first of all, apologize on their behalf and also apology. So I think if we can have an infraction, and it is our duty to owe people public apology. And I can say on this matter, we are giving a public apology to the chairman Chanchaga local government on that infraction of that story about Beganu, because that is not the story, it's overzealousness, and we are taking our internal mechanism to deal with whoever wrote that story. And I think that's what I should make, so that, to lead by an example. And we demand this kind of, apology from the permanent secretary. So let's go to our phone calls. Hello.
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 Good morning, doctor.
Morning, how are you?
Oh my God.
We have some comments on our Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
This one coming from Ibrahim Sachadon. He's saying it is unfortunate that those miscreants has taken over the capital city of Niger State. May the action taken by the state governor to yield a positive outcome. I give kudos to the chairman of the local government for swinging into action and fishing out some of these boys. Thank you, Ibrahim Sachadon, for that comments. All right, let's take the calls.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Auntie Memuna.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor Dental, and all of you in this
Morning, quickly, Abdulhadi. We don't have much time.
Go ahead.
I think you met Prince Elijah, the Hadi photo, calling for good people from Gwamita and Boso. You see the problem we are facing today in the mining sector. Yes, our governor has declared state of emergency. That's declared. How did you run by with the Minister of Mineral Resources? He can't do it alone without these people I'm talking about. If people, my master say, this is what I want. My master must engage me openly. Then that's where the people who were talking about the minister resources, the people, the person, you don't have your own personal police, you don't have your own personal civil defense. They are talking about what happened. Quite okay. He may say that it's not the actual place. If actually is that place, he should come out and apologize and withdraw that comment. And secondly, the governor must engage. In fact, the ministry needs overhaul. Let us be frank to ourselves. Enter that ministry. You will see that the ministry is in the lack of many things. We then were talking to fight these people. Now they have shoot somebody. They need to go, they use kill somebody, or with the cutlass, or with the digger. This is what we're talking. With the gun, which means the ministry, they can't do it alone.
Yes, the ministry cannot do it alone. I think we'll take one call and we'll wrap up. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Ibrahim Saleh is saying on today's issue, illegal mining in the state, this is a serious issue that is leading to so many souls gone down the drain. Despite government's law stopping these activities, it's happening right now with full force. Unless government remain resolute to their words, otherwise the law will only remain on a paper written document without enforcement. Abdul Karim Makusidi, I wish you Baraka Salah. Thank you, Abdul Karim Makusidi.
Okay, let's take one call and we'll wrap up.
Mujahid Abu Mahfouz, you have already taken care of that. Sani Baban Sani, he's saying good morning. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all.
That's all. Okay, let's take the final call. Hello.
Hello, I remain comrade calling back.
Okay, comrade. Yeah, comrade. Briefly, please. 30 seconds.
I think this mining of a team gave back to this rascality that is happening in our metropolis. Because from the information, from the source genuine information we are getting, these little boys are being used in that mining site. In fact, they gave them these hard drugs, whereby they will tell them that these hard drugs will make them not to get tired. And after taking these drugs, these boys, after this work, they will come into the town, and these drugs will still be working in their bodies, and they will result in taking all these weapons, and then it will result in all this nonsense. So I think this gave birth to this. So if you have to tackle this, you are going to tackle this also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Ahmed. Dr. Dantala, let's wrap it up briefly.
Yes, government officials should note that they hold the public accountable whenever issues like this happen, and the media is backed by the Constitution, Section 2, Chapter 2 of Section 22 of the Constitution, have given the media the power to cover government officials and their activities and report same to the members of the public.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Antala and Memuna Mame Babangida. You may not have time to say because our time is well spent. On behalf of all in the studio and all our, staff and reporters, we are sending our condolences to the deceased, and also urging the volunteer organization not to be deterred in taking those kind of responsibility for a better society in Nigeria. On behalf of Dr. Dantala Memuna Mohamed Babangida and also our studio manager and also our online studio editor, that is Stephen Jia, I am Zubair Abrovidri saying have a pleasant day.